What if this is like a recurring segment? What if people love it and they're like, we need more of this?
I don't think it will be.
No? You don't want to do it again?
I don't think it will be.
You think people will be like, this is terrible advice? Or you think you personally just wouldn't do it?
I hope I have good advice because I'm trying to be a therapist.
See, this is good practice.
Oh, no.
What's up, everyone? My name is Prema, and I'm here with my sister Ashti. Welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do something a little bit different. We're doing kind of advice type questions. Recently on my Instagram, I asked if any of you had questions about life, relationships, whatever, to send them in and we'll answer them anonymously. My sister here is probably the smartest person I know and also gorgeous. She's the whole package. She's also married. And you're going for your master's. You want to be a therapist? What type of therapist?
I have no idea. Okay. I don't know what population I want to work with.
How do you find out? Like, at what point do you have to get into like, oh, I want to do marriage or children or, you know?
Yeah, once we start our practicum, which I'm not doing until next year.
Okay.
So I have to figure it out by then.
Okay, you have that. Or how would you find out? Like, is there a way for you to like, I mean, you can't really sit in a therapy session and...
Mm-mm. No, I think I just want to work with just regular adults, probably mostly women. Yeah, maybe some kids too. I like working with kids.
Yeah.
I work with kids a lot with my job right now.
Yeah. That's really good. And what do you do right now?
I am a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with adults who are sick and should be in the hospital, but I set up services for them so that they can stay home where they're more comfortable and get services there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you like that line of work?
Yeah. I've always done like helping professional jobs, so.
You like being helpful?
I don't know about that. Yeah. I guess so.
I think so. I think growing up you were always like being helpful. Like you were talking about like today, like Nina was like, we have to clean up outside, it's gonna rain. Mm-hmm. You're like, I don't know where that comes from. And I was like, you girl. Like,
I know.
That was you as a child.
Like, in my head, even when I meet with people, they're like, oh, I wish I had somebody to cut my grass. And it's like, I could do it. Like in my mind, I think that. But then like, I've never cut grass before. Right. Like never.
Like driving down the road, like, Ashti, what are you doing?
I don't know. I do not have time to cut somebody's grass. But in my mind, I'm always like, I can do it. Yeah. I can be on this person's podcast. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Lots of time.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Is there anything that you would say is challenging? Because I know some people find social work like really challenging.
I think with every job there's like challenges, but it makes me really grateful for like the life I have and you know, having kids that aren't sick or, you know, being able-bodied and being able to take care of myself and our family's okay. And yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it does make you feel grateful, I think.
It's just hard balancing everything, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like family, school, work, everything.
So I always found your work very fascinating. And it's cool that you're going to get into therapy and work. Like, you'll also manage your own kind of practice, right?
I'm hoping so. Yeah. I'm hoping to meet people like in their homes. And
do therapy in their homes.
Mm-hmm. I've always had jobs where I meet people like in their home or in their community. I have no idea how I would do in an office. So
wonderful. You get a candy drawer?
No. I've never had a job where it's like 9 to 5 I'm in an office, so I don't know how I would do with that.
I don't know if I want to be people in their home.
And I feel
depressed people in their house is not a good place.
But some people need it, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And then I feel like driving is really good for like, okay, I'm not in that space anymore. So now I don't have to think about it, you know?
What?
So like if you're in an office, then it's like, I feel like all the vibes are just like negative. And then it's like when you're in your car, I feel like the vibes kind of like, you leave the vibe. Okay, I just took that out.
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Because once you step out of that space, you're in a new environment, so it kind of refreshes your mind, you know?
Sometimes it's hard to let go of the issues that you're dealing with. So it helps just being in the car and turning on music.
But wouldn't that be what the drive home is? Right? You leave whatever's in the office and then you drive home.
Yeah.
Leaving the office behind.
Yeah. But then I don't know. You're just like still in the space, you know? I don't know. I just want to leave all the negative vibes there. And then just
at their house.
Positive vibes and just get out. Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never thought about therapists going to people's homes.
Yeah.
But is that a thing?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, there's all different types of therapists. There's like community health therapists, there's school therapists, there's career therapists. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd say you're a pretty qualified person to give advice. Fairly qualified. You're a good listener.
I'm a good listener, yeah.
Okay. You're very confident in that.
Yeah, I can listen. Yeah.
So we got I sent you all the questions that we got. We got many questions. There was more, actually. This was just whatever I got from that particular, that's just whatever I got from that Instagram question thing in my story. So one of the questions, I just picked 3 because I could talk forever and ever and ever about each question. So one of the questions was, what kind of qualities should you look for in a partner that you think are the most beneficial long term?
What do you think?
Go ahead. Go ahead, therapist. So this is, I'll just maybe just to give you some background. So this is a young lady who is currently in the dating scene, and she's had some pretty bad relationships with guys, like, you know. I always say, for example, like, I think a man should be career-oriented. Like, they're not just sort of like, I don't know what I want to do, and they're just sort of floating through life. I'm not saying that they have to have their dream job, but they should have a goal, and they're working toward that goal.
Yeah.
You know? Because, I mean, at least, like, in the Hare Krishna community, you see a lot of guys that are just like, I just want to, you know, play mridanga in Indra's Vrindavan Harinam or whatever, you know, like, that's not a goal that could sustain a family, you know? So if your prospective person is like, I just want to renounce in Vrindavan, hunty, he's not for you, you know? So, like, that's one thing, because sometimes girls will get caught up in, like, oh my God, he's such a good singer. And that doesn't mean he's a good partner. You know, it just means that he has a talent.
Well, I think having the same goals in life too. Like, if you want a family and you want to have, you know, the house and all the things, then you need to find a partner who also has those same things in mind. Yeah, and just has a lot of potential. I think the thing with my husband was, like, even though he had like nothing when I met him, like I felt like I had so much potential. He had so much potential. Yeah, and I just believed in him, and he believed in me, and
yeah, I was just about to say, I think he trusted you. I think that's important. Like, there should be, like, I don't know, was that part of the question? Qualities should you look for? No, that's not part of the question, but there should be, like, some trust. Like, you're taking me on this path, and it's going to lead me to the goal that I have, you know?
Yeah, I think to some extent you have to kind of know yourself, too. and know kind of what you need. Because a lot of times in our life, it's, you know, I'm in a bad place, so he needs to like take over things, and then he's in a bad place and I need to take over things, so we kind of have to complement each other in that way.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that whole, you know, there's the, I don't know if it's a trope or whatever, but like you can tell a lot about a man by how he treats his mother. Do you think that's true?
I mean, I think to some extent.
Or it's like, and it also extends to like how he treats the waiter and how he treats, you know, the janitor and how, you know.
Yeah, I think seeing somebody being kind when they don't have to be is definitely important. Like you're not getting anything from it. That's always good to see.
Yeah. So career oriented and qualities should we look for? What qualities should a man look for in a woman? Do you think she should also be ambitious, like career-oriented, similar goals? Well, similar goals in terms of family, right? But career-oriented or
more family-oriented, kind of just knowing what they want.
Yeah.
I think both, like, there's nothing wrong with being like a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, but
I think it's important to know what a person's like religious and political qualities are. Because it's like if you always just put it aside and you focus on other stuff, and then in the end it's like, oh well, I thought you would convert, or oh, I thought you would, you know, you can't have certain conversations at the dinner table or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I think that's really hard. But if it's like, you know, you both are pretty open-minded, or you're both very conservative but you have the same religion, same political following, like, then it's cool, you know. So I think that's really important, but it's still not a quality.
no.
So, good to his mom.
But not too, like, you don't want a mama's boy.
True.
That's so annoying.
Where he, like, takes her side all the time. Yeah.
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good quality.
Yeah, we're not looking for riches. Like I said, he doesn't have to already be in his dream job. He just has to be working toward it. And, I mean, other than the obvious, like, we want someone who's kind, who's virtuous, I guess. Right? Is virtuous the right word? Virtuous. Loyal. Definitely loyal.
Somebody who's got your back.
Yeah. That you can trust and they trust you.
Someone you could be vulnerable with.
Yeah.
Somebody who can support you through the good times and the bad times. Is that a quality?
I think those are good qualities.
I think somebody who makes you a better person.
What do you think about, like, sense of humor? People always say that, like, I want a guy who has a sense of humor. I feel like it doesn't mean, like, they make you laugh. I feel like it means, like they can brush things off easy. Do you think that's what that means? Because I was like, why does everyone say sense of humor?
Yeah. Well, I read something that says, like, when women say they want a man with a sense of humor, they mean like a man that's funny. And when men say that they want a woman with a sense of humor, it means they want a woman that will laugh at their jokes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, that finds them funny. So, like, sometimes you're just not funny.
No. Yeah. But I think having the same kind of sense of humor and the same kind of vibe. I mean, you don't want to be with somebody who's super negative if you're a positive person.
Yeah. Like, just, you know, chill vibes.
Chill vibes.
Chill vibes all around. Okay. Well, I hope that answered her question.
I don't know. Sorry.
So this one, what questions should you ask on a first date?
I think the first date is just getting to know each other.
I mean, other than like sibling listing and where are you
What's
from?
Your favorite color?
Like, I think if you want to find out more about a person, like one question, I mean, I don't know, I've never been on any dates or anything, but like, I've read, and I thought it was interesting, you should ask them and it sounds like an interview, but like, what are your long-term goals? You know, or where do you see yourself in 5 years? And if they're just sort of like, I don't know, we'll see. If nothing is like, I want to have a family and hopefully I'll be established in my career, or whatever, you know, it's not going to change. Just like,
yeah.
But if they're just sort of floating through life, you know, like, I think a person who's driven, goal-oriented, career-oriented, family-oriented would have some idea, like, oh yeah, I'll be 30 by then or whatever, and I would like to think that by 30 I have a wife and a family, and I would have completed my whatever and, you know, started working on getting X job somewhere. But if they're like, I'm just chanting and dancing and Harinam Sankirtan. No. This is not good. This is not. That's lovely. They will go right back to Godhead, but they're not going to have a family.
Yeah.
You know, you will struggle. You will struggle with these people.
Unless you don't want a family.
Unless you don't want a family.
Want to chant and be happy.
And you guys just want to chant japa together.
Yeah.
Living in a mud hut on the bank of the Yamuna. Like, good. You do that together. Yeah, you're right. Unless that's your goal too. But I mean, most women, I think they're looking for a partner so that they can have a partner or a family. And if that's the case, like, yeah, ask them what their long-term goals are. And if they're just sort of living by the seat of their pants, it's like,
I think it depends on your age too. Like, I don't think I would have ever asked that when I was like in college.
Yeah?
Maybe like if I was in my 30s or like late 20s, maybe I'd ask that. But when I was in college, I was just trying to get to know people.
You go on a lot of dates?
I did, but like...
Really?
I hated it.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I really hated going on dates. And it was always just like, all right, I'll go out with this person. I have nothing else to do.
They're like, do you want to go out with me? And you're like,
I'm just
fine.
I'm such a homebody. It's hard for me to get out of the house and do things like that. Especially with somebody, I'm just not good with the small talk, you know?
Yeah. You've been on a lot of dates, begrudgingly.
Yeah.
A lot of first dates.
Lots of first dates. I've had some really bad ones.
Yeah? Let's hear it. Worst one. Let's go. I want to hear the worst one. Don't you dare. I have so little in my life.
It was so bad. Okay, so it was a guy who I went to high school with, and then he went to the same college as me. And I used to work in a library, and he came into the library, and he's like, do you want to go out sometime? And I was like, yeah, sure. Because I would say yes to everybody, because I just wanted to get to know people.
You just wanted to cut their grass. And
and he gave me his phone number, and I remember like he had called me to try to set up the date or whatever. And I was working in the library, so I had to like shut my phone off really quick because it was ringing. So I shut it off really quick. Oops. And then when I had a break, I went to call him, and he was like so angry.
Ooh.
That was a red flag. I should have known. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. It was just like I'm at work and I had to turn off my phone. And then he was fine. And then he's like, oh, well, our date is going to be a surprise. And I was like, okay, all right.
How would you know how to dress?
I know. It was so bad. So he met me at my apartment. And then I was like, where are we going? He's like, it's a surprise. And then we walked for like 25 minutes in the cold. It was freezing.
God.
And we walked for like 25 minutes. And it's a college town, so there's tons of like restaurants everywhere.
Yeah.
But he took me to a restaurant in a hotel. And it was just like, out of all the restaurants, why would you bring me here?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they had like special food or anything. And then he just insulted me the entire time. Like, he made fun of like me being a vegetarian, and I don't know. It was just awful. Yeah. And then at the end, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And I kind of just like took off. And I didn't realize it, but I had left my gloves there.
No.
And he thought that meant like, oh, I want to see you
again. It's a Cinderella type thing. Oh, God.
So he called me.
Like, no, he's like so desperate to get out of this situation.
Took off. It was like, I don't like people insulting me. And
of course.
So I just took off, and he called me, and I was like, just throw it away. Yeah, just throw them away. It's fine. It's okay.
Just like my number, please throw it away.
Yeah, that was the worst date I've ever been on. There was another guy that I dated for a really, kind of a long time. Not like a long time, but we went on a lot of dates. And then he just disappeared.
Huh.
And I was just, I mean, I'm fine with like people ghosting me because I ghost people all the time because I don't like to leave my house. So, but then like a year later, he like texted me and he's like, "Oh yeah, I went into rehab." I was like, "What?" Apparently he had a bad drug problem, and I was like, I had no idea.
You see like needles everywhere. You're like, he must really have diabetes. Like,
oh, we were very sheltered. Yeah, I had no idea.
No clue.
Nope.
He's there like wigging out in a corner, and you're like, boy, he's so cute when he sleeps. He thinks he's running. Oh, he's just there having like a good.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's so sad.
I know.
He never talked about it either, right?
No, I had no idea.
How would you ever know?
And he went into like some wilderness rehab.
Interesting. What questions should you ask on a first date?
What questions should you ask on a first date?
I also read that you should ask about their hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do on your time off? And if it's like, I don't know. Again, it's like they should know. Like, they should have some hobby, something that just fulfills them.
Mm-hmm. You're just looking for red flags, huh?
What? When
you're
you
looking
ask
for
questions?
green flags and you're looking for red flags?
Yeah. I mean, basically, yeah.
What do you think is a red flag or a green flag?
If they have no hobbies,
mm-hmm.
I think that's a red flag. I'm not saying it could be like a little thing, like I don't know whatever a little hobby is, knitting, whatever kind of hobby. But if it's just like they just sort of, if they're just like a blank slate, you know, like they should have some kind of. I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I always told my students when I was teaching, like, try to have as many hobbies as possible, because one, you'll never know what you're good at until you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know what you like until you try it. And three, it just makes you a more interesting and well-rounded person.
Yeah. Like
when people meet you, they'll be like, you know, like for me, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. They're like, you what? Like, you know how to do this random obscure thing? I'm like, yeah, I got bored one day and decided to look it up, and now I know how to knit. Or whatever, you know? Now I know how to make cards or whatever, you know, like, yeah, so they should just know how to do something.
Yeah.
Anything. Productive. Not productive. It doesn't have to be productive, but I think it should just be not aimless. If their hobby is like sitting in front of TV and just blanking out,
there's something else going on there.
You think so?
Maybe they're depressed or something.
Something.
Like, that's not normal.
It's normal to be depressed.
It's not normal to, like, your only hobby is, like, watching TV.
That's Mom.
She's very involved in the temple.
Yeah.
She's very busy.
Yeah, see, like, the temple is a hobby.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh yeah, in my time off I teach Sunday school at the temple, or
mm-hmm.
whatever it is, I volunteer somewhere, or I do woodworking, or do you think fishing would be something, or is that weird? Not gambling. If they're like, oh, I love to gamble when I have time off. Girl.
Yeah.
Unless y'all both want to be in debt together.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I don't think I could be with somebody who does fishing or hunting or anything like that.
Oh, I couldn't do the hunting.
Yeah, I'm too like.
It's so aggressive.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the show Alone?
Alone? No. Is it scary?
No.
Okay.
It's like 10 people, and they have to go out into like the wilderness, and they have to like set up their own shelter and hunt their own food, and like they're like in this like remote location, so there's no people around them, so they're just by themselves, and like slowly they'll all like eventually tap out, and then
I think I heard about it.
Yeah. And then
do they have teams?
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
It's just individuals,
Something else.
and like they just have like this psychological. You know, you go kind of crazy when you've been by yourself for 85 days. You know.
Do you think you'd love it though?
Kind of.
Right, me too.
The only part I don't like is like the fishing and the hunting part.
Yeah.
It's like I would love to make my own house one day.
Yeah, I'd love to just pick for berries.
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me which ones are not poisonous, and I'm there. I'm ready.
Yeah, I love the vibe of the women on that show because they're like so in touch with nature, and they're
just free bleeding all over the place.
No, it's really nice like seeing the women on that show. It's like, I don't know, they get so in touch with nature.
Yeah.
And then it's like everything falls into place for them, where it's like the men, it's just like they just kind of go crazy, and then they get like parasites in their body, and then they tap out. Yeah. Like there's this woman on the show that we're watching right now, and she's just like happy and smiling all the time, and everybody else is just like, ugh, I killed this grouse. And
she's like, Mother Gaia has provided me. Really?
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I thanked my ancestors, and then I went fishing and I caught a fish within 10 minutes. And it's like everything just falls into place for her.
I love it.
Yeah.
That would not be me in the wilderness.
No.
I would have poison ivy within the first 30 seconds of the show.
Do you like camping?
I've never camped.
We should have gone camping.
See?
We should have gone camping.
I think maybe next year, like Padma will be a little bit older. I always think about it. I'm like, what would I do out there? Look at some stars?
Yeah, you go for hikes. You set up the tent.
Hikes?
Food takes a long time to cook, and then you have to keep like maintaining the fire.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So it takes a long time.
It's like being in a village. Oh. Have you ever been in a village?
No.
Would you say the food tastes better, even though it's like taking a long time to cook? It doesn't make a difference.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It just takes a long time.
Yeah. People are always like, yeah, village food is better.
Is it?
Yeah, well, because they cook it over the little chulha, you know, and it's like clay pots, cow dung. It's like more authentic. Like they burn it with the cow dung. They don't cook with the cow dung.
Okay.
But like, you know, so it's like the flavors, the aromas are, but it just tastes the same.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about cooking on like a charcoal grill versus a propane grill? Because I feel like charcoal is so much better. So much better.
So much.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's the flavor of the coals.
You think so?
I don't know what it is, but it just tastes so good.
It like burns and it tastes better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, what are we talking about?
We're talking about what questions would you ask on a first date?
We're talking about grills. Okay.
Like, what do you think are important questions? Like, I'm gonna find out. I'm not gonna waste any time. I gotta find out about this guy today, or girl.
Yeah, I think for me, finding out about their family and how they grew up is really important. I don't know. I'm just thinking about me and like my husband, and like we both kind of grew up like with not much.
Yeah.
Like we were kind of immigrants. He was just like, he had a single mom. He was raised by a single mom. And it was just like, we kind of bonded over like never having anything. But I can imagine like if I was with somebody who had like a lot of money or who lived like a totally different lifestyle, it would be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
I think. We would have different values, I think.
Yeah. Jag and I sometimes have a pour off.
Ooh.
Who was the poorest?
Yeah.
I was like, you ever wear somebody else's clothes? Because I did.
Sample sale on it.
He'd be like, I only had 2 sets of clothes. I'd be like, fine. Like, you ever live in an apartment with and sleep in a room with 4 siblings? You'd be like, no. Did you ever have your roof leak because it's made of mud? Fine. So he always wins that.
Yeah. But I think like we're really grateful for the things that we have.
Yeah.
Like I think about my kids and like they're not grateful for anything.
Oh yeah.
We're able to give them whatever we give them whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of don't have the gratitude that we have. So that would be hard to have in a partner, somebody who doesn't have the same gratitude.
Yeah.
What was your first date with your husband like?
I never went on a date. We're devotees. We just associate and then get married.
Okay. My husband and I were friends for 2 years before we started dating. So
yeah. I remember he used to like write on Facebook all the time. I was like, something's kind of sus here.
Sam?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh,
we were
Facebook
chatting like
Sam. Constantly.
That's
how you know.
And do you remember when Uncle Dave came over and he was like singing that song like, you say he's just a friend? You remember that?
No, I don't think
you were here for that.
No.
Oh, he kept singing that song. It's just like he is just a friend.
I know. All of us were like, yeah, this guy. He writes constantly on your Facebook.
Yeah.
That even I, on the other side of the world, knew.
Yeah. So how did you know that Chegg was the one?
I was young and stupid. Mm. I always say the story like this: that he said he liked me, and I was like, I guess I like you too. And that was it. I guess we're getting married. Like with devotees, what's messed up about devotees, I guess, is like we don't have like dating really. Like every time you date someone, it's not to get to know them, like with regular like Western, I guess, couples. But it's just like every intention has to be we're getting married.
Oh.
You know. And something I always found very weird about Mayapur is that in order to like date somebody, associate with somebody, you have to be engaged to them. So some people will be engaged like 4 or 5 times, and it's like, well, then you're spoiling what an engagement is, you know? Like it was always so weird to see this person like put a ring and have a little ceremony.
Oh, they even do that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then they break up later and go with somebody else. And it's like, it's so, but just to circumvent the, I don't just date, you know?
Yeah.
It's a strange culture to me. Yeah, I just talked a lot. And I was just like, and I think at the time, and I was like young, and I feel like with the internet, you know so much more about everything. Like, I feel like I was very naive when I was younger. And if I knew then the things that I know now, like, I would just be, and I said this in previous, I would just be like a rich old cat lady, you know, just living my best life.
So do you think it was a bad thing to get married so young?
I think it was good for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good for me. Because I have a lot of like mental issues. I'm very, very crazy and unstable. So it gave me a lot of stability. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. Like, I know it's not normal. I know I'm not normal. Like, people, like, they get a job and they just sort of stay at that job. And I, like, freak out. Like, I can't, I'm not a stable person. Like, and people will be like, we'll give you a raise, we'll give you a promotion, just stay, you're so great, blah, 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 you have so much. And I'm like, get me out of here. Yeah. I cannot. Like,
how long do you stay at a job?
I think the longest I've stayed at a job is like 2 years.
Okay, to be honest, I get that itch at 2 years. Okay. And it's kind of like paining me to be at this job for 7 years.
Okay.
I think about it all the time. It's like, I need to quit.
Okay, so is that just me? Because I just leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to India for 3 years. Bye. They're like, okay, well, let me know when you come back. Once my like former boss wrote to me and was like, you wouldn't happen to be in Minnesota, would you? I'm like, no. I hate it so much. But yeah, I just up and leave, and I don't know I don't know. I don't know if I'm always, it's that search for finding the thing that makes me, like, I recently had this is way off topic. I recently had my astrology chart done.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw that podcast, but we had a friend of mine come in and talk about astrology. So she did my chart, but it was spot on. It was like, I have to do what is in line with, like, what I'm meant to do. I'm not the type of person to just pick up a job and be like, okay, it's a paycheck, you know? Target was great, but it was just a paycheck, even though the pay was really good, the benefits were really good, whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of... And then she says, like, in Vedic astrology, I'm like a double Libra, so I'm like very, very organized, but also very full of self-doubt, which is why I feel like even though I've always wanted to get into like acting, producing, directing, movies, blah, 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 comedy, like it never happened because I was always so full of self-doubt, you know? There's always like this like fear of like, what if this isn't the right thing to do? What if I'm not as, you know, funny as I think I am, or smart or talented or whatever, you know? And I think there's also like, as long as I never try to figure it out, I'll never know, because once you know, you lose a part of yourself. So for example, there was a point in time where I was like, I want to be a pujari. I feel so sorry for Jug sometimes. Like, I can see why he's, like, over me sometimes. Yeah. Because I'm just, like, everywhere. But also, I was young, so I was not so stable. I was still trying to find myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be a pujari. We went to Mayapur. I did the training course. I got really good grades, blah, 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 blah. Studied hard. And then I had a temple that I went to. And I was a pujari there. And, like, 2 weeks later, I was like, I can't do this forever. I was like, I cannot be at this temple forever. And then, and I quit after 2 years. It was just not for me. Yeah. And then I kind of like lost that part of myself where I, you know, before that I was like, I could see myself on some big altar and everyone's like admiring my deity dressing and I have like the peacock fan and I'm like looking all fancy. And no, that part of me is dead. Like, I could do it. I do it well, but it's not like part of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Does that make sense? So then I feel like there's this big part of me that loves comedy and acting and this and that. And what if I don't succeed? I lose that giant chunk of myself. And then it's like, who am I? You know? And I feel like it's really important as women to be, if you're happy being just a mother and just a wife, good. But I think it's also really important to have a sense of self-identity. Because you can get really caught up in mom life, husband life. And then when those are gone, because yes, they can and many times do leave, who are you? And you get depressed, I think.
I had a similar thing happen to me recently where I just like after going to grad school, it's just like I've been a mom for like the last 8-9 years or whatever, and now I'm around these people who are like really smart and they're getting their PhD and like
you're also smart.
Okay.
But
I felt really dumb after not using my brain for the last 12 years. Like I haven't been in school for 12 years. Yeah. And now I'm going back and it's like, oh my gosh, am I dumb? Did I get really dumb? And then I like convinced myself that I'm really, really dumb. And then I lost like that part of my identity because I was always like, oh yeah, I'm the smart person. And like Sam would always tell me that I was so smart. And then I was like, yeah, Sam, you don't tell me I'm smart anymore. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the reason I used to tell you that you were smart all the time is because we'd take the same classes together and you wouldn't even try and you'd get a way better grade than me. And I would try so hard and still not do well. Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe I am smart. I just need to warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do feel dumb.
You're not dumb though.
Yeah. That's hard. Identity is a really hard thing.
And I think it changes a lot after motherhood too. Like real bad. Like I really felt very disconnected from myself after I had Padma. You know, it was really hard to grasp too. Like I couldn't explain it either. Like I just didn't feel like myself. Or even like I started taking like Odissi classes again, right, to learn dance. And I remember before I felt very like, because it's a very like feminine, like you could even say like kind of sexual a little bit because of the way you move your body. And I felt very like connected before having her, and now I just feel like, I don't know, it's like putting a can on a on top of the fridge. It feels like that kind of motion where I'm not identifying with my body, with myself, with my feelings. It feels weird, different.
Yeah.
So do you still think you're dumb?
Sometimes. I think with trying to balance so many things, and I'm such a like perfectionist with things, that I can't be a perfectionist anymore, and that really stresses me out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, other things like fall apart. Like I'll have 8 loads of laundry to do, or, you know, if I do really well in one area, then I'll fall behind in another area. So I had to kind of like give myself a little bit of a break and be like, okay, I can be mediocre in these 3 areas, you know?
Yeah.
And if I just get through them, then that's fine. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Just make Nina do the laundry.
She would.
I know.
She would. She's so sweet. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I think I'm just like trying to cut myself a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes I'm not going to be the best wife. Sometimes not going to be the best homemaker. Sometimes not going to be the best mom. Sometimes I'm not going to be the best student. And that's okay. I've turned in a lot of assignments at like 11:59.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's okay.
But they get done.
Most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm doing well. I mean, I got
you're
good grades.
doing well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also really good that you're going back to school and focusing on something that's not husband and kids and you know, it's just for your own enrichment, life enrichment, job enrichment, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So, in what other ways do you feel like your identity changed? Like, what was it about having? Because like having a child should make you feel like more feminine, don't you think?
Yeah.
But you feel like you lost that.
I felt like I lost a lot of femininity. I remember one day in this room, Padma was like, 2 weeks old, and it was just like, you know, it's that phase where it's like milk, sleep, milk, sleep, milk, sleep, you know?
I had that same experience.
And
like,
I was like,
I feel like a cow.
I am a cow.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I was like, I feel like a cow. Like,
yeah.
You know, and you already don't feel good about your body because you just had a baby, and it's like, and then you're just like a cow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I feel like a cow. So there was that, you know, the astrologer, because I was also telling her about that, and she was like, well, you know, to be a mother is to be, you know, you take on this position of like a guru, right? Which is kind of more masculine, you know? And that could be why you don't really identify with your femininity. I was like, that makes sense. Right? Because mothers are the first guru of the child, and, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, that makes, because I really like, I felt, it really, it's like disconnected right now. Like, no part of me feels. And then also, like, an interesting question that came up recently is, what is femininity? Right?
Yep.
Because a friend of mine was trying to figure it out, and it all just had to deal with, like, sexuality.
Yeah.
And then it was like, but why? Why is it only tied to that and nothing else?
Yeah.
Like, how would you define femininity?
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about this in one of my classes recently, too. Where it was just like, the professor asked, like, how do you know you're a woman? Is it like your genitals? Is it like because you've been socialized to wear dresses and be nurturing and all of these other things? Like, why do you think why do you identify as a woman? And it's just like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an essence that I identify with.
Right.
But it's hard to label.
Yeah. Was there like a...
No.
No, he's just asking that.
No,
and he's like, all right, let's start the class.
Like, there's so many, like, gender identity is like becoming such a big thing, you know, these days, because people are kind of examining that a lot more. What makes somebody a woman? What makes somebody a man?
Yeah.
But I feel like I've never, like... I feel like some people, like, really struggle with their identity. It's like, I never did. I always knew I was a girl. I was happy being a girl.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know how to define femininity.
Do you feel like you were, like, after having either Nina or Nick or both, like, did you ever feel like you were separated from that identity of femininity? Like I did, where I just, like, it really just clicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the femininity. I think more just I lost my complete identity. I was just like an extension of the children, you know?
Yeah.
Like you walk into a room and everybody's like, the baby! And it's like, I'm here too. Wow.
I am also well.
I am a human and I just had a child. Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah.
And just being kind of that constant provider. Like you can't pursue anything. Like they're the priority.
Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty normal.
How do you
But
think...
unfortunate.
How do you think a person would gain their identity back? Because, like, for me, like, I tried to do all of my old stuff, like dance and whatever, and it was just not... It wasn't clicking, you know? It wasn't slapping like it used to.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about what I did.
Go to school. Do you feel like school is helping you find your sense of identity?
I don't think so. I think I just disconnected myself from everything I thought I was before.
And you made a whole new you.
And then and then I was just like this person that just cared for other people for a long time. And now I'm starting to kind of get back into what new things do I like.
Interesting.
Trying to get to know myself again and find out what I like and what I don't like, and yeah.
Interesting. Has there been anything new?
I'm into a lot of different things. I've had like 10,000 hobbies just like you.
Yeah.
Painting.
Right.
I was doing... Was that embroidery? What was that thing I was doing? Cross stitching. I do Girl Scouts, which is like so much stuff. Oh, do
you regret getting into that, or you like it? Okay. I hate helping young women.
I like the kids, but it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. I thought it was just selling cookies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's just how we make the money.
and like getting the little patches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with that.
Yeah.
So.
Will you be out like once Nina's over it, or does she like it?
Sometimes.
Oh. You're waiting for the moment where she's like, I don't want to do this anymore, and you're like, great. Yeah. Fantastic.
Even at her age, there's a lot of drama. So, what was the question again?
What would you ask?
On the first date? How did we get here?
We're talking about like motherhood and trying to find your identity.
This did not help that person at all.
No, we're not helping. We're helping somebody. They won't be watching because they think it's about first dates. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Hi. We could go on to the next question. Last question.
Okay.
Last question. How do I cultivate authentic friendships? And I think, I don't know why they asked this question, honestly, but I can guess because I feel like in the Hare Krishna community, it's hard to find like real, like ride or die type friends, you know? A lot of them are kind of fake, or they're like, you've got like your service friends, like you do service with them, but you don't really get to know each other. You have like friends that you hang out with, but it's all like very superficial. You can't tell them any of your personal business at all. Otherwise, the whole world knows, you know? Like literally, I could be right here and someone will message me and be like, you won't believe what happened to blah, blah, blah in Australia. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like normal people, like, it might just spread within their devotional community, but it doesn't go further than, like, Minnesota or maybe America. But, like, with devotees, it's, like, everywhere, the whole world, you know? So it's really hard to find a friend who's authentic, who is, like I said, ride or die, who's trustworthy. Because a lot of them are just that surface level. You know, they smile and take pictures at the Goshala, but like that's about it. You know?
Yeah. Like they don't want the best for you.
They couldn't care less. Yeah, they couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Because they love to gossip.
Yeah. That's really hard to find, I feel like, these days. Gossip has been so, like, I'm trying to cut out as much gossip as I can. So it's like...
and I'm, like, trying to get more. I'm like, tell me!
It's like, who am I helping? Who am I hurting? You know? I don't know. How do you be an authentic friend? How do you find an authentic friend? I think that's the hardest thing.
I have to look up this quote. I hate to do it because I want to be like true to what was said. It was on South Park, and I don't know. Did you ever watch South Park back then?
I've seen like, I remember Towley. That's the only episode
I didn't really care for the Towley episodes. Those were the bad ones. He had this great quote. South Park is great. You should really watch it. This was an episode where one of the characters was trying to find friends and nobody wanted to be his friend. I don't remember exactly why. And then they get on, what is that? Omegle? They got on Omegle. And you know, like the thing with Omegle is, so basically if you don't know what Omegle is, it basically just you get online, people get online, and it just randomly chat roulettes you to whoever's online. So they do that, and every other person is just showing their eggplants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the quote is from Cartman: if you want to find some quality friends, you got to wade through all the dicks first.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And it like worked on 2 levels because they were doing chat roulette or Omegle or whatever it is. And also, yeah, like sometimes you just have to go through a lot of bad friends to find a good friend. I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Something I was kind of meditating on, though, is like, am I a person that I would hang out with? Like, could I be friends with myself? For a long time, it was no. Honestly, like, I couldn't. I was too depressed all the time and too, like, you know, I don't know, like, just psychotic. But, like, yeah, like, if you could be could I marry myself? Absolutely not. I feel sorry for Jug every day. But,
I couldn't marry me either.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know what they see in me.
Yeah, I feel like I ask Sam every day, like, do you like me? Is this a joke? We've been together for 15 years and have 2 kids together, but it's like, this is a prank, right?
Why are we?
Yeah.
This is some, like, one of those long-running shows, and in, like, 20 years, they're like, surprise! Like,
surprise, I'm just dating you. It's a joke. Yeah.
But, yeah, I think a question you should ask is, could you be friends with yourself? And if the answer is yes, then you're probably a good friend. If it's no, and you're like, you know, I really do get in too much drama, and I really do, you know, psychotic things, or I really do whatever, you know, or I'm too depressed, and nobody wants to hang out with a depressed person all the time that hates themselves, and, you know, whatever it may be, you know. You should probably fix that, change that. And then, yeah, I can't say that there's like an authentic friendship pool that you have to drive to and find all the authentic friends there. But you'll find a lot of times, like, also, like, if you're authentic, a lot of people will be that way with you. Like, with me, it's like, what you see is what you get. Like, there is nothing, there's literally nothing that I'm hiding, you know? So, then people, like, they're like, oh, this is a person I can confide in because they have nothing to hide and I don't need to hide anything, right? I don't know.
Do you feel like you cultivate pretty authentic relationships?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, like, again, I'm a psycho. Like, I am a ride or die, like, type. Like, you know what I mean? If you call me at, like, 2 a.m. and you're like, somebody did this to me, I'm like, all right, let's murder him and bury the body. You know what I mean? Like, there's you know, like, that's it. That's it, you know? There's no backstabbingness. There's no, you know, yeah. I think I'm an authentic friend. Because I always find also, like, whenever they're, like, friendships end, it's because they ended it with me. Like, I didn't say, oh, this person was like this and I'm out of here. Like, I'll look past all their flaws, look past all their craziness, and I'll be like, we're in this life together. Like that, you know? So, I think I'm like that. But they're like, this chick is crazy. They're like, out of here.
I think it's hard for me, for a long time, it was hard to, like, find friends, because in my mind I'd be like, okay, they said they like me, but do they really like me? Like, they said to call them, but should I? And then they don't call me and I don't call them, and then it's like nothing ever happened.
Right.
So, like, learning how to, like, believe people when they say, like, yeah, call me. It's like, okay, I'll call you. And, like, actually following through with that.
Right.
That was the hardest part for me to get over.
Believing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just send people memes all the time, so I don't know. You can try that. Memes.
If they don't get it, they're out.
Yeah.
No friendship.
Cat videos and dog videos. Yeah.
Random TikToks.
Yeah.
All of it.
And I think a lot of times, like, friendships evolve. Like, I remember, like, my best friend in high school. We were, like, really close in high school, and then we, like, went to college, and, like, our lives went, like, totally different ways. And it was just like, oh, I don't think I could be her friend anymore. She's so conservative, and she's like, we're so different now. And in my mind, I was just like, we can't be friends. Like, we're too different.
Yeah.
And then we'd hang out, and it was just like, great, fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. It was fantastic. Like, every time we hang out, it's just like, we should do this again. Yeah. So I don't know. I think maybe I just overthink things sometimes.
I get like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to look for, like, why it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't agree on some things a lot of the times. But, you know, I try to see her perspective on things, and hopefully she tries to see mine. I think it's just about finding, like, a super kind person. Finding those qualities in somebody. You ever hear that quote that there's a lot of fish in the sea, but there's also a lot of trash in the sea? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of trash out there.
Yeah.
You just got to find the fish.
Yeah. And just to, like, give it time also. Like, don't just jump in right away and be like, here's all my anxieties and all my, all my trauma. Like, yeah, this lady's crazy or whatever.
Is there anything else?
That was it. I just had 3 questions.
And I don't know if we answered any of them. Oh, gosh. Maybe you should label this something else. Like, ramblings with my sister.
cultivating authentic friendships. Be authentic.
Know yourself.
Just know yourself. But also there's a lot of trash in the ocean.
Yeah.
So you gotta just...
Yeah.
Whatever, you know? Yeah.
Find the qualities that you want in a friend and concentrate on that. You don't have to be into the exact same things as you. I did try to make friends with like one of those apps. Like, there's like Bumble Friendship. And it just was really weird.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, maybe I don't want friends that bad. Like when I was home all the time. And I was like, should I get more friends? That's okay. I'm alright. I'll just hang out with my husband and cat.
Yeah. I always like want friends, but I don't, and I want them to invite me to things, and then I want to be able to say no. And just do that all the time.
Yeah.
I may show up once. Don't expect me every time, but keep inviting me.
Yeah. It's like Eeyore.
Yeah.
You ever see that like on in Winnie the Pooh? How like he's always depressed and sad, and it's like it's nice that they always invite him anyway.
Yeah, just do that.
He's a downer. Like I'm kind of a downer sometimes, but just invite me.
Yeah. That's the kind of friends I want. That you don't forget to include me. You know, just don't expect me either. I will politely turn you down.
Yeah, I will cancel at the last minute.
Yeah, for sure.
I might even get dressed and then cancel. But sometimes you just got to find that right person that like you vibe with. Like with Sam, like the first time we talked, I was trying to avoid him for a long time.
Why?
I don't know. There's a lot of trauma. So Sam worked at a different library and he came to my library.
Oh, library drama.
Yeah, his library drama. And then I was like, my friend was there and we were like best friends. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And she was just like, I'm going to get to know him. And I was like, okay. And then she like got to know him and then she's like, he's really weird. I was like, okay. And then like he came up to talk to me and he's like, so what's your major? Da 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 da. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a psychology major. He's just like, I'm social work. He's like, what class are you taking next semester? I was like, taking this class and this class. He's like, I'm taking that class too. We should sit together. And I was like, okay. And he's like, here's my phone number. And then like it was the first day of class and like I saw him and I like purposely went like far away from him.
I love it.
And then he like called me and he's just like, I'm in this spot.
We're
like,
best friends now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in this section and the sixth row back. And I was like, okay. So I went and I sat with him and then it was just like, we clicked like immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once that initial awkwardness.
Yeah, once we had a conversation, it was just like, I know you're going to be in my life forever. Okay.
Right? Isn't that how it is, though?
Yeah.
I met Jug. I'd seen him, like, a couple times, and I was like, I'm going to marry this person. But it wasn't like, I'm going to marry this person. I was like, I think I'm going to marry this person.
I think our first conversation was about, like, Pokemon. Like, it was so random. It was just, like, every time we had a conversation, it's like, time went so fast, you know? Like, we'd go to, like, to the library to, like, study, and then it's like, oh, the library's closing now. I feel like I just got here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's been 3 hours.
Do you miss those times, or do you feel like when you two are alone, you still have it?
I think it's a lot more like, oh, yeah. Since we've been married, like, time has just gone so fast.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's awful. Life has gone so fast since I met him. It's terrible. I feel like it's like in fast forward.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's because we're like having a lot of fun and stuff together, whatever.
That's good. You have fun still.
Yeah. Watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
Play video games together. Play with Otto. Yeah.
Play with the kids.
Sometimes.
Well, they raise themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nina can take care of Nick.
Sam Pig does a lot of the raising.
Yeah. Hisses at them all the time.
That's how they know their place.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you want to tell the audience? I think 30 people will watch this.
What do I want to tell them?
You know what's crazy about my views is like the travel videos, I get more views, but less people actually watch them, like watch the whole thing.
Oh, you can see that?
Yeah. But with my podcast, I get less views, but they watch the whole thing. So my hours are better with the podcast, even if it's less views.
You know what I think it is about podcasts? It's like you could just put it on and like do the dishes or like do stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's just been an hour and a half and I just listened to an H3 podcast and I'm done cleaning my kitchen.
Yeah.
Whereas like with those traveling videos, people probably like want to see. And then it's like you have to pay attention the whole time.
Exactly.
You should do a makeup video. I feel like you do good with your makeup.
Not as good as you.
No,
Come
but
on.
like I think you do really good. Like I feel like you do it more like colorful.
Yeah.
Mine is like I do the same makeup every day. You should do a makeup video. I think that would be really cool.
I don't know. I'm not an expert though.
But like you like match it with your outfit and like you do your hair and
You know,
like,
at the very
do the whole
beginning
thing.
of this channel, that's what I was doing. I was doing
really?
like, I was talking about certain topics, like whatever people asked me, and then I'd like do my makeup and talk about the topics. And then I'd explain like, okay, I wore this choli with this sari because of this, and then I decided to do the eyeshadow to match something else or whatever. And then my hair would just be a mess. By the time I get to my hair, I'm tired. So it's always just like the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I could either do hair or I could do makeup. I can't do both. And clothes, I never prioritize my clothes.
No?
No, never. I could never wear sari. Never.
Why not?
I can't. It's just too much. It's too much. Too
Like
much work.
what?
I don't know. It's just like, even since I was little, like I had you were always like, so like, oh, what sari can I wear? Can I wear that one? Can I wear that one? And I was always like, do not put that on me.
Why?
I don't know. I like to wear dresses and stuff. But for some reason, saris, it's like, nope, give me the one with pants. I don't know what it is about saris. Yeah.
What is it? I'm just trying to
don't
think what
know.
it could be.
Even for my wedding, I didn't wear a sari.
No. Yeah, I know.
I just
What
don't
is
like.
it?
I don't know. I can't. I
just
can't
don't
tell
like
you.
it.
I
You
don't
can't
know
put your
why.
finger on it.
I think they look great when everybody else wears them. I don't know why I don't like to wear them. I don't know. I have.
Is
no
it
idea.
overwhelming? Are you not like? Because I feel like you just like very simple clothing. There's too many options with a sari. What choli will I wear? What petticoat will I wear? How will I do my eyeshadow?
I think
What
it's
earrings
just-
will go with
yeah,
it? You know,
it's too
like,
complex. Like even like putting it on and then like going to the bathroom, like it.
it's like a dress.
Every
You just-
every time I wear it, it like falls apart and like. I don't know. I'm just not good at that stuff. I just don't want to think about it. I don't like to think about clothes.
I never wanted to come in my life ever again. When's the last time you wore a sari?
I cannot tell you.
I don't even remember.
Nope.
I don't think I've ever seen you in one.
I've worn them before.
When?
Yeah, when I was younger though, like a long time ago. Nothing recently.
I don't recall you ever wearing a sari.
I know I have because I have a sari top and I see it all the time.
And you're like, bye.
Yeah. Like, shove that into the corner. No, I used to have like a bluish one that I would wear all the time. Even when I went to India, I never wore a sari.
No, you
Never.
looked so cute though. You wore these like kurti tops with like black leggings.
Yeah.
I always remember that because it's like I could never pull that off. The only reason why I wear a lot of saris is because I only look good in saris. I don't look good in, you know, like I would wear like, what is it called? Like shalwars. And because my body type is like, on a good day, it's like this, but they don't make clothes like this. They just make it like this.
Yeah.
So I would just look like a triangle, you know? So I can't wear, like the fashion now is these, I forget what they're called. They're like these outfits. They're like dresses, basically. They come to your knees and they cut off right here. I look terrible in it. I look pregnant. You know? I don't look good in anything like gopi dresses. I look terrible in gopi dresses.
You think so? I feel like those are so similar to saris.
Yeah, my butt is very high apparently. So the bottom is never straight. It always rides up. So either they have to, and there's no tailor on earth that's like, I'm gonna make this dress to your body type and make it a little longer in the back. So it always looks really like this, and then you can like, yeah, it doesn't look good on the bottom. So saris are the only thing where I can make it match evenly on the bottom. It suits like my body type. That's why. That's literally why. Because I've tried other stuff and it just doesn't look good. And then with like Western clothes, like I'm not actually that colorful. Like, like I'm basically like pants, shirt. It's weird because like my Western, I feel like with my Western tastes, I'm very like plain clothes. I don't even care about makeup. Like, and then I'm in India and I put on a sari. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like this whole other person, you know. Like I'm literally wearing these pants because somebody gave it to me. Otherwise, I would not pick black pants with flowers on it. It would be like jeans, shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what I do.
And either blue or black.
Yeah. I've been starting to like green a lot.
Really?
Dark green.
Green is my least favorite color.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? I think dark green is so cute.
Dark green is nice.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Regular green is really horrid.
Like a forest green.
Forest green is
so
nice.
Pretty.
Yeah. Really into green.
So I've gotten into green lately.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
So you're buying more like green things.
Yeah.
Would you say that's your favorite color?
I think so. Look at this. Even the kids say like green's my favorite color. Kids are so obsessed with like favorite color.
Yeah, that's like an important part of the identity. Like, what's your favorite color? That's not my favorite color. Okay, next. Like,
it's like I know that Nina's favorite color is purple. My favorite color is green. Her dad's favorite color is red. Nick's favorite color is blue. No, Patrick's favorite color is pink.
Yeah. But
yours
also
is blue.
Mine is blue.
And you're wearing blue.
I am. I don't know why it always is like this. My eyes are just, like I said, I know it's my favorite color because I'm always just drawn to it. Like I'll be like, I don't think I have a blue sweater, and I have like 10 blue sweaters. But my brain is just drawn to the blue. You think you're just drawn to green?
I think lately I have been. I don't know why.
Sometimes your eyes just take a liking to a color. That's all it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Let us know in the comments how we did. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me on social media. All the links are down below. Do you want people to contact you?
No,
please don't contact her. Contact me. I've got my email. I've got my socials down below. There's also other ways to show me some love. Just check out the description box below. And as always, be good to each other and be good to yourselves. Bye!
What is your favorite toy?
So my favorite toy is Polly Pocket.
And my favorite toy is a doll. Barbie doll.
You like Barbie dolls?
Yeah.
And why do you like Barbie dolls?
Because it's so fun to play with a dollhouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, with a pool.
Uh-huh.
With everything. And a little baby, too.
Uh-huh.
So fun.
So it's fun to have Barbie with the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the dad, too. With a big Barbie house.
In a big Barbie house.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so fun.
Is there anything in particular you want to play? What do you like to pretend?
Like Krishna.
Oh. What does Krishna do?
Puts all the kids in the Goshala.
She wanted to do a podcast.
Don't come in.
Don't come in. She can wait, right? She can wait.
Yeah.
So tell me more about Krishna putting cows in the Goshala. How many cows does he have?
1 billion.
1 billion cows? That is quite a lot of cows.
I can't tell them.
Yeah, there's way too many, right?
I'm too little to count a long one.
Yeah. About how much can you count up to?
I can't.
Can't? Maybe like 30?
I can count to 10.
You can count to 10?
I can show you.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wonder and see, wish I could be. Da-da-da-da. What's the word bird? This one's for you.
Thanks.
This one's for
How does
me.
it go?
It's mine.
What is a fire? And why does it?
The word bird.
Up where they,
One,
up where they,
run.
up where they,
As the star.
wandering. Wish I could. Part of world. What would I give
To spend the day
out of these
up among
waters?
the daughters at the swimming, ready to say, I wanna go where the people ask them questions.
Get some answers. What is a fire?
And I think the word bird.
Up where they,
Want,
up where they, up where they,
and the sun.
wandering. Wish I could be part of that world.
Can you put this on for me now?
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about on the podcast?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I love you.
I love you.
So bye.
Bye bye.
You're the best. I really love you.